Ooh, big dragonfly. Hello. Thank you. I just called for a Pleiadian sister to come and share space with us, and we just got one. Peace and aloha from my core to yours. From my core to yours. I want to bring you into my now moment so we can share this moment together now and share some things with you. Firstly, if you're new here, welcome. Hi B. I recommend looking into the other things that I've shared just recently on my channel, as I am, as you are, going through many changes amidst this eclipse season. I first want to give a big shout out, a little, I guess you could say, like, woot woot to myself, because I made this. I crocheted this watching a tutorial. Thank you, Maya Luna Corazon. I watched a crocheting tutorial and made a shirt. Just a little side note here for you guys, because I want to start just wearing clothing that I make so it fits perfectly to my own body. It's more organic, natural, and helps me carry less things. Anyhow, I digress. So yesterday I shared a video about the things that have been occurring with my throat chakra, and then yesterday as well I decided on the eclipse to partake of some LSD. It was the only square that I had left after, like, I want to say a year, 2 years. Yeah, it's been 2 years, and it's just been sitting in my crystal box, so it's been charging up in all this good crystal energy for some time. And yeah, sorry, my spirit got to, like, don't go too far off on a tangent, stick to your thank you. So I partook of the medicine, and I had a list of all of these things that I wanted to ask myself while I was on my trip. And I asked questions for my body, for my mind, and for my spirit. And I strongly recommend you do the same. I won't get into lots and lots of details here. I feel that I'll share that on Patreon. I still am going to share the insights that I got, but maybe not all the details. So, pardon me, you guys. I've been praying to my spirit guides every morning. I'm connecting more to speaking with them on a regular basis. And they just corrected me as I said what I said. So thank you for correcting me. I'm just going to talk about all of it here, apparently. So we're just going to do that. Okay? Okay. So I asked my body, thank you, Spirit. I asked my body what felt good as far as movement. I asked it what movements feel good. I did breath work, what breath feels good. I sang what sounds feel good to my throat. I was out here for most of my trip. It was daytime into nighttime, so it was a very interesting transition for me. And I connected to my light language, just allowed myself to speak in light and reconnect to that, because I don't connect to it often, or as often as I should or could. And one of the major things, which is probably the main thing that I would want to share if I shared anything about my experience on my trip, was that I understand that I'm a channel for light, and that I can connect to source, to God, to spirit, to my archangels, to the ascended masters I work with, or to my galactic family, and I can allow those messages to come through and be transmitted. Sorry, I thought I heard a person. I don't have pants on, so, if you see me put pants on, that's why. But allowing myself to be a channel, and you can be a channel as well. We all have that capacity, is something that I strongly received from connecting to my trip last night. As I started speaking in my light, I understood that the LSD can bring you tools and gifts to help you realize you already have the tools and gifts you need. And when I connected to my light from my heart, when I connected to it, I understood that in speaking in that light, if there was any misalignments in my container or I wasn't centered within myself, speaking my light connected to God, to source, to everything that is, was so powerful in clearing out things. If we all take the time to connect to our light language, to the expression of just us, like, this is the best way I explain it is baby talk. Like, sometimes when you hear babies speak, to me, they're speaking in their light. They haven't learned another language yet. So to me, it's really about surrendering to that core you, the inner you, and remembering we're all children of Gaia. And that was another big thing that came through. So I was sitting out here, grounded. I thanked Gaia for everything she is doing amidst what we are doing to her. Because and you can too, if you take the time to sit and breathe in to Gaia and just observe her, and then I'm sure you can hear the highway is very close to my mother's house, which was like a perfect analogy that I want to bring in here, was understanding there's just constant fumes being pushed out of cars almost consistently. And as I was listening to that, I was like, yeah, we need another reset. Another reset, and not a fear-based reset, like a mindful of earth reset. The last reset was more fear-based, and when I say reset, you know what I mean. Or if you don't know what I mean, like 2020, I feel that the time is coming for another one, and not one that's supposed to be, oh, be afraid, if you choose to connect to Gaia. And that's what I learned. I was sitting and connecting to her, and as I was tripping, and this happened a couple times when I tripped, where it's nighttime and it's dark. So right now, sun's out, we're hearing the sounds, it's whatever, we kind of don't really think about it because the light is out. Things are fine, everything's going okay. But when the darkness comes, when the change comes, when the unknown, the dark, things you can't understand at the time that they're happening come, those sounds start sounding real crazy. And your mind can start creating things and telling you things that you're hearing or what's happening when you can't see, when you don't know. And so as I was sitting outside at night and I was hearing the cars constantly, and then I heard helicopters, and like, it was a lot of activity. And my spirit guides kept saying, being in a high, densely populated area, energetically, at least for me, is like, it's like really quick. But as I moved my hand over to other areas that I felt called to on Gaia, it's like, and amidst all this craziness, changes are still coming. There's still change going to be coming. We're in the time of change for the next number of years. And my sister and I actually recently both had a end of the world dream that was very similar to one another. We just spoke about it yesterday. And one of the most important things I got from that dream is, as times are changing and things are crumbling and ending old ways, the most important thing we can do is to be the person who can sit on the ground and connect to Gaia and ignore all of the humming and buzzing that is going on, all of the things that try to distract us. And what was really helpful for me in trying to keep out some of those noises was singing in my light and just Akiase amoata dianoa ake anataya. And that felt so good. Just doing that, being on the ground, felt really good. And I also understood that hearing that kind of noise all day is not for me. I already know that, and I already am making moves and allowing things to move. Sorry, I'm getting used to my locks. They're almost 1 year and they're starting to do some different things, so I keep messing with it, so ignore me. I like this one. It just does what it wants. Yeah, you really are doing what you want. Oh my goodness. Did you just show out because I talked about you? Anyhow, I call them my snakes. Sometimes they're my spiders. It really depends on what I need them to be. But anyhow, so I already know, I was digressed. I already know where I feel called to, but I feel as humans during this eclipse time, more changes, that we are being called to slow down, which I've been hearing from other channelers and other beings on YouTube who share messages from Source. We are being called to slow down, not in our mission and our purpose, slow down our bodies. I can slow myself down and still work and still share and still do what I'm being called to do. And that's what I'm doing. And a large Mercury pre-shadow retrograde, or it's probably going retrograde soon, I should probably know that. A large, I don't even know what large was about to be. Thanks, Hermes. I can feel the Mercury. When you start talking about it, I think that's when it comes in. A large, I don't know. I'm just going to keep moving on. So, a big shift is happening on Earth for the next number of years. Oh, thank you, Spirit. A large message that I got was where my body wants to be for that, where my body is asking me to be for these shifts and changes, where I am being called to go to share certain transmissions and codes and frequencies, as well as caring for my container, being a highly sensitive being. And that was something I definitely learned last night as well. The energy of hearing this constantly, boom, 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 like being imagine being in a backyard and you just want it to be quiet so you can be at peace, and you're hearing this. That is how I feel just being in a highly populated area. Knowing that there's like just so many energetic bodies is a lot for my energetic body, and I'm learning to honor that. And I strongly urge you to do the same. And something that also came in really strongly last night for me was that I'm not here, like I'm not sharing these things to impress you. Like when I'm sharing in light or sharing, I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to share in the bliss. I'm here to share in a beautiful frequency together and assist in kind of grounding, essentially. Assisting in grounding some of the changes that we'll be moving through. Assisting Gaia as a part of what we're doing here. A lot of us who are in the time of our lives where we've seen what's going on within our world and know that we're here to be the difference, we're being called to do that. And I laid down outside today naked for the first time ever. I was like, thank you, Activation Vibration. She always does it, and I've never had a space to do it, so I laid on this mat naked. It took me a while to fully get my shorts off, but I did, and it felt good, and I got the sun codes, and then I prayed to Archangel Metatron. I prayed to Archangel Metatron for wisdom. Thank you, Archangel Metatron. And when I pray to him, I call to him, and then I ask him for the wisdom I need on something. And as I was laying there, I called and asked Woodpecker for the wisdom, and then an eagle flew over as I was speaking about my question. And then I went on my little spirit animal website and saw what the eagle was saying, and you have the freedom to choose your own path and respect that freedom of others to do the same. And that was very affirming for me, because it's not always easy for me, or it hasn't been, I'm not claiming that anymore, it hasn't always been easy for me to feel free to do what I want. Usually I feel at the mercy of others' wills, of what they'd like me to do for them. And so to retake the power of, I have the freedom to do what I'm being called to do, and it's time to do what I'm being called to do. This is what I signed up to do, and I want to do it. It's not like we get signed up for things we don't want to do. So yeah, I don't feel the need to make this super long. I'll most likely continue to try and be a little bit more I'm going to, thank you, Spirit Guides, I'm going to be more proactive about sharing on a more routine basis things that come up, as a lot of things usually do come down that I feel called to share as we share together and just kind of move through these times together. And thank you, Spirit. I do have a Patreon, and it started as a Patreon that I made for my partner and I for supporting us as we create music. But I also feel like it's just going to be a place and space to share more intimate connections. That's what it seems like it's turning into, at least, because I first started sharing like, oh yeah, we're working on music, but I feel that we're being called more to just ground ourselves in other areas first, and then the music will come. Transmissions will always be coming, but the more like, this is a song, here you go, instead of like, we're just connecting to a transmission. That's what the Patreon is becoming, and I want it to be a place and a space where when we're connecting here and you're connecting to me, you're like, oh, I vibe with you, and you want to connect or support us more, connect to me, and then also support me by doing that. It will be essentially going towards gas to get wherever I need to go. And I don't want to support the petrodollar for much longer, so it won't be always going to that. I want to support ways to bring cannabis as a way to be a fuel source, which it can be. If you follow, I recommend, because he has one now, and he started doing things on it just recently to celebrate this 420, this eclipse time, the holy crop. I think it's like the holy crop, all one word, or you can look up at the holy crop is my partner's page. He's going to be speaking about all of the things that cannabis, mother ganja, can do to help Gaia survive these times. And that is so important. For me, my mission outside of the transmissions is water, which is something that came up as well last night too, was water, and understanding all I really wanted while I was on my trip was water. And then I asked my body to, because I intuitively eat, what the things I had been eating, if it wanted it or not, and all it wants is water, smoothies, and fruit. So I'm honoring that. I ate some meat for some time over like the winter months, which did help, and we always chose to go with just bison. And I did partake of cow for the first time in a long time. I felt very grounded, and I was thankful for the cow. But my body, and everybody's body is different, is calling for that now, and I'm honoring the changes that my body is going through. And I don't, if you're new here, I was vegan for I was vegetarian since I was 17, and that was like 12 years ago? 7, 8, 9? Oh my god, that was 12 years ago. Honestly, I don't feel, and I'm sure you don't either, I don't feel that age thing. But in terms of relating to how long it's been since my temple has been experiencing those things, side note. So, a lot has been going on for me. A lot has been going on for you. I already know that. A lot is going on for all of us. A lot is going on Earth. And one of the best things we can do is get outside, sit in the sun. Make it fun. You don't have to make it like, oh God. You can get a yoga mat, get a picnic blanket, bring out some nice music, bring some water, bring some fruit. Just lay, just be. And connect to yourself, and connect to your guides, and connect to the earth, and connect to the animals. It feels so good, and it's all I ever want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of bring our container to a culmination. There'll be more to share in future videos. This is really what I know I needed to share. And yeah, I'm very grateful for having the space and the time, because I don't always have the space and time, but I'm now claiming the space and time, and I'm going to be making this what I'm doing. And it feels good to move into that finally. And I know if you're watching this, you probably feel this way as well. Ooh, we got a sacred, is it vulture? Oh, it's vulture. It's vulture medicine. Sacred vulture medicine. We are composting things that no longer serve us, what the vulture teaches us. We are zooming out and saying, oh, that doesn't serve me, let's eat that. Oh, that doesn't serve me, let's get rid of that. Oh, that doesn't serve me. And so I am moving into allowing my life to be something that serves me so that I may better serve others. And that feels good. And I want that for everyone in my environment. And the best way for me to encourage that in others is to do it. How can I ask someone to do something that I'm not doing? So I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Wow. And as if you've been following me, you know that, hi, Dragonfly, I have not in the most recent times, because Saturn, based on also a side note I talked about, I think yesterday, whole sign versus Placidus, putting them together. Saturn transiting through my second house limited my ability to bring in resources in a certain way. Understanding the way in which I should be bringing in resources, and I know it's through this. So if you'd like to support that, then you can touch the part of your screen that says subscribe. That's the best way to support me right now, or following the Patreon, liking the video, or you can just take the time. Butterfly, what a beautiful butterfly. Take the time to go outside and just sit and ground and just be for a little bit. I really needed it, and we all need it. We all need it. So yeah, thank you for sharing in this space with me. They want me to share a little light language transmission. I'm moving into doing this again more, just going into it, so it feels good to understand that I'm embodying what I'm being called to do. I'm just kind of sharing with you so you understand what I'm feeling right now. So thank you for listening to me. I'm very just like here or there, things about my trip, things I learned, things I'm learning, things I'm experiencing, things I understand are occurring at this time, and that I would like to share with those of you who connect with me, you who has connected to me in this moment. And so we're going to receive a transmission. I'm going to sit for just a moment and see who it's coming from. Immediately I heard it's just coming from your heart. It is coming from my heart, but just like specifically spirit guides, is it an archangel message? The Moodians, Arcturians, Pleiadians? It's just, okay, it says just you. It's just gonna be me. Okay, so I'm gonna get a little sippy sap of water. I'm gonna hold the camera for a second. Okay. Don't mind my boobs. Take a moment wherever you are to just drop down into your body. Maybe sway to the left and the right a little bit. Feel Gaia underneath you, supporting you amidst all of these changes. Remembering we are a child of Gaia. We're all here for greater things. Giving gratitude that we can access this if we allow ourselves to. Taking a nice deep inhale in. Exhale. ASEAN 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 Atea Kea Akea Tea Asea Tewa Ukeanaewa Tena Taitea Anoea Kayana Ena mai ke awi te awi naya Uno ase amwa Use amwa itaya Ua ke anata e ana. Ike ono amoa tea. Ike ono anoa tea. Ike ono noa tea. Ea ea. Aea. Ika nawate. Ika nawate. Ika nawate. Ase ase. Ase ase. Ase ase. Onoko ata. Anoko ata yanoa. Anaite awata sayana. Anaite anata sawanaya. Uasayate. 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 Moate ala kanaisi ala tasea. Sokonoa la taitia teiasano ala kaitias. Moa que se alate ono tosui anata kayalawa. Kiase amua ki anoto ala tanaitia kokosoe. Muso a sialata ki apuso anala iki aloto soasi. Unono ati ala atasikia mo la tatana tasa. Kukuamuate tati ano no wala ikiamo soa te la tatiti akonko kosoa muate. The Lemurians hopped out there for a moment. Y siamo kokoa se ala tatatia nata la ewa mua a kiamoa samueliti ala muata. Thank you. Mahalo. Gracias. Until we meet again, as always, I'm sending you peace and aloha.